So my name is Hannah Young, and I am a student occupational therapist assistant. And today I'm going to be showing you my toolkit for my saying goodbye group protocol, or taking charge of your discharge. So first of all, in the toolkit, you are going to get the saying goodbye binder, which has all of your sessions here. We have the 5 different sessions that I have here. We have separations for each one. And within each of the separations is all of the handouts and different worksheets and different examples that you will need to make copies of, that the therapist or OTP will need to make copies of to hand out during the session. There's a few papers that are only for the OTP use, and it says those on there. So then all of that the OTP will have to do when wanting to leave this group is pull this binder out, and on the day or the day before the session will need to make copies of the papers in here to hand out to the clients. And then I also have some of the different materials needed that I will go through in just a second as I am going through each one of these sessions. So we are going to start with session 1. So my session 1 is all about client safety in the home, and because going home for some clients may be very difficult, especially for clients with anxiety, eating disorders, or depression. So these are just some different things. So the first handout you will need to hand your clients is our questionnaire, which is how I will be tracking progress after the 5 sessions. So it answers a few questions. Some of the questions are on a scale of 1 to 10, on 1 being the most nervous and 10 being not nervous at all. How nervous are you about leaving the facility and treatment? And this is just kind of getting a range of where the group is at on feeling about going home, because I know it can be a very stressful situation from leaving the day-to-day routines that some people face and having to create their own is actually a very nerve-wracking. Next question is list at least one social support they have outside of their family to go to. This may be very difficult for some people because, within the facility, they have a lot of social supports and they don't have to worry about calling anyone. They can immediately go to that person's office or go visit them because they're right next door, they're right down the hall. And then the last question is rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all and 10 being the most definitely, how much they believe they deserve their discharge. Some people may find it difficult to understand that they're being discharged and that they even deserve the discharge that they are getting, that they feel like they're not ready and that they don't believe they need to be discharged, that they need to stay in this facility. And that's kind of why mental health has this, I read somewhere that it has this stigma of a revolving door policy, that clients, the moment they get home, they feel the need to just go back because they feel safe there. And hopefully these sessions will allow these people to feel safe and comfortable in their own home, in their recovery, in their journey through recovery. So the next is you will move into an icebreaker for everyone to kind of get used to the group. And then after that you will move into another handout, which is it's called the Life and Recovery handout. So the therapist will be able to go from a few talking points. I had planned on going from 6 steps and tips for tackling recovery. So it gives the clients some pointers to kind of look into, and that recovery is different for everyone, and that it's not a 12-step process and it will take some time. But giving this to clients will help them understand that their recovery journey may take a little bit, but it's okay and it's what's needed. And then the next step that we're going to have them do is we're going to have them plan a safety plan template. So they are going to go through and answer just a few of these questions, kind of fill out their social supports and start thinking about who is their social support and understand who will be there for them when they get outside. And finally, our activity that we are going to do in this is you are going to be creating a web of support. So here is an example. So you will need this spider cutout, which you can print off online. It is also attached in my group protocol. And then you will need a piece of construction paper. It can be any color. This is just the one that I had available. And then you will need colored pencils, a pencil to write and kind of jot down ideas on a blank piece of paper. And then you will need glue and scissors. And that is it for the end of session 1. So we will go ahead and move on to session 2. So session 2, we are talking about coping skills and different strategies that people can use at home so they don't have to, so that they can handle situations on their own and learn how to handle situations on their own. So the first handout we have is self-soothing techniques. So it's comforting yourself through the 5 senses. So it goes through how find something to touch, something to listen to or something to hear, something to see, something to taste, or something to smell. So it gives you a bunch of different ideas to for those senses to kind of get active and to learn those senses. So it distracts you from your own thoughts and the anxiety that you may have. So the activity that we are going to do today is we are going to be creating a stress ball. Actually, so inside we have the instructions on how to create the stress ball, and the supplies that you will need is you will need a funnel, and you can buy one or make your own. I made a makeshift one because it was what I had available to me. You will need a balloon. I didn't have this available, so I just wrote the word balloon. Next, you will need beans to fill up the balloon. So these are just little black-eyed beans, little dried ones that they can pour inside the balloon, or they can choose the other option, which is flour. And then so clients will walk through that step and kind of make their own stress ball to take home with them and kind of use in a crisis. And then the therapist will walk their clients through kind of like understanding when, like, the signs of a crisis and understanding when it might be a good time to pull out that stress ball, or understand when it might be a good time to use those self strategies. And then the last handout that we will give to clients, either while they are walking out the door or when they first come in, is something that they can hang up in their kitchen. It is a crisis phone number. So it has a lot of different hotline numbers that they can call or text to talk to, and there's different hours, days, and it gives everything, and it gives the phone number exactly right here, so they can just hang this up. And if there ever is a time that they feel that they can't call anyone in their family, that they will always have these numbers to call and talk to. So there's like suicide and mental health category, there's a sexual and domestic abuse, there's the addiction to drug and alcohol, there's a health, and there's multiple different in each of those categories. And that is it for session 2. So session 3, we are talking about creating a daily routine. So when in the facility, people are very used to, these clients are used to having a daily routine already set up for them. So moving home, it's going to be very difficult and challenging to kind of get used to their own routine. So creating this routine will actually be very helpful to some clients, maybe, and we'll also be creating a weekly schedule, so that can help clients get used to taking medication or their work schedule or getting used to just certain different things. So in session 3, the supplies you'll need is, I have an example of a booklet I made, and it is my weekly schedule that I need to keep track of. And it'll give clients the opportunity to kind of like make the schedule on their, like, to their own liking and really tailor to themselves. Next are clip art pictures for the daily schedule, so that people can clip and paste them onto their daily schedule that they can hang up in their kitchen, in their bedroom, wherever they like. And then you will need scissors, glue sticks, construction paper or printer paper, and then colored pencils to kind of write what the image means next to the image. And then that is it for session 3. So session 4 is, we are talking about meal prepping. So it is very needed that clients have a healthy and consistent diet, and understanding that eating is needed, and that for some clients such with eating disorders who end up getting discharged from an inpatient facility, it can be very hard for them to understand meal prepping and getting back into a healthy eating habit, and it, like, recovery can be a very long journey for them. So in here we have, this is just for therapy use, so it is why meal prepping is good for you, and there's 7 reasons that the therapist can go over and kind of talk about, and so the clients understand why they need to meal prep and what meal prepping can save them, and simple meals And then what you will need for this session So actually, we will be creating a simple meal. So we will be creating a salad. So I have everything you need to make a salad. I have croutons, cheese, meat, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers. I have lettuce, cucumbers, and tomatoes in this bag. And so you'll give the clients the chance to kind of get back into the kitchen and learn how to make their own meals and learn how to create simple meals, and it'll also be a chance to get clients used to using sharps again. For some people with depression or anxiety, using sharps may be something that may be very difficult and hard to get back into the use. So it'll also allow them to get used to using knives, shears. It'll be definitely something very different, but also needed to kind of get used to those people, so that they're not just starting right away when they get home, that they're kind of learning all of this before they get home, so the stressors of going home are taken down. And finally, we have our last session, session 5. So in this session, we'll actually be having the clients fill out the questionnaire again to kind of track progress throughout the so we can end up going back and comparing and tracking the progress throughout these 5 sessions to ensure that progress is made through the clients, and that the goals were completed, and that there really was, this group is actually needed and wanted by the clients. So after that questionnaire is filled out, we are going to have the clients decorate a brown paper bag with different ideas and different facts and things they learned from therapy, because this is their last session before they go home. So you really want them to feel comfortable and okay with going home, and that therapy was good for them and good to them, and that they will carry all these memories with them and be able to take them with them when they leave. So you'll have them decorate with their name, which you can use colored pencils, markers, pens, whatever the client may like. And you're going to have them write down different words or memories or friends that they came along the way while in the facility, and you're going to have them decorate this bag. And then on the inside of the bag, each client is going to get one of these pieces of papers to put in there. So it says a knapsack of hope, so a hope that their journey and recovery is going to be good. And in each thing we have a star. And the star is a reminder to you to always keep shining. Next is a paper clip, and the paper clip represents helping you holding all of your things together. An eraser to fix all of the small and little mistakes you may make along the way. A penny so that the clients will never be broke. And finally, a rubber band to help you stretch beyond your limit and really achieve your goals that you have for your recovery process. And that is it for what we have in my toolkit. So just when the therapists go to use this, they can easily take the papers out, make copies for the group, and then put them back in here so that anybody at any time can come through and use this binder. And then in the front of the binder, I have I have a stack of copy paper, and it would just be recommended that if you take any of the copy paper to put more back in, so that this binder will always be, to make sure that this binder will always be filled, you want to make sure that you keep replacing the paper. And that is it for my toolkit. Thank you so much.